Pixar movies seem to come with a motto that says you'll get a tear for every laugh. But there seem to have been way more tears than laughs. Watch until the end for the biggest tearjerker of them all. Can you guess which one it will be? Don't forget to hit that notification bell to never miss another video, and be sure to check out our community section for even more fun. Now let's check out 10 Pixar movies guaranteed to make you cry.
Daddy?
Oh, thank goodness.
Dad, I don't hate you.
Oh, no.
Finding Nemo. Okay, let's start light, you guys, although there really isn't such a thing as light when it comes to Pixar movies. Finding Nemo is a perfect story about helicopter parents and children struggling with independence and finding their own path. It's one of those things most of us can definitely relate to. Of course, all of this is masked in an absolutely adorable underwater movie that comes with plenty of sentimental moments. First of all, almost every scene with Dory will make you cry if you're in the right mood. How sad must it be to actually have a memory so bad you can't even remember your family? Or how about the moment when Nemo says to his dad that it's okay to let go? This is one of those movies where adults might find it way more sentimental than kids. Who knew that a story about a fish could actually make us cry our eyes out? But let's keep swimming because we have way more tear-jerking movies to cover. Finding Dory. Seriously, everyone was waiting for this movie to come out, and it was well worth it when it did. Dory charmed so many people. Pixar decided to give her her own big screen movie. And of course, it came with plenty of sentimental moments. The fact that Dory's parents actually searched for her when she so helplessly tried to find them in the first movie is actually pretty sad. It's even worse when you realize that it really was Dory's fish memory's fault that she got separated from her parents to begin with. You would think her family actually treated her badly because they couldn't find her, but as it turns out, she had a lovely childhood. This is also one of those movies adults will appreciate more than children, regardless of the childhood you've had. Who would have thought that a little blue animated fish could make us feel such things? The movie comes with some hard-hitting moments that will definitely leave you choked up, and if this one doesn't, we have 8 more to go, and one of them definitely will make you cry your eyes out. Monsters, Inc. How could we possibly not talk about Monsters, Inc.? Sure, it does come with plenty of moments that will make you laugh out loud, but let's be honest, this movie can definitely make you cry too. Pixar really knows how to make the endings really sad before we get our final closure. One such ending is without a doubt the scene where Sully says goodbye to Boo. It's one of our favorite Pixar moments ever, and it still makes us cry every single time. It's absolutely heartbreaking when Sully realizes he can never see Boo again. But honestly, you probably cried when Sully sends Boo back to her room. Kitty has to go. Has to be one of the most heart-wrenching Pixar sentences ever, and we still cry every time we hear it. Maybe that's why Pixar decided to put several Easter eggs in this scene. They probably knew we'd all be bawling our eyes out. Well played, Pixar. Well played. It's even worse when you realize you won't get any closure because Boo doesn't return from Monsters University. Seriously, we just want to know how this kid is doing, Pixar. Is that too much to ask?
You are a princess, and I expect you to act like one.
Brave. Merida might be seen as a tough Disney princess, but there are plenty of scenes in Brave that can really make you cry. Let's start with the fact that Merida is actually one of the first Disney princesses that doesn't need a man to have her own princess story. That's pretty impressive for Disney, right? But most people can identify with Merida and the bond she shares with her mother. Her mother's not so pleased with her daughter's so-called tomboyish ways, but they still have a strong bond. But one of the most tear-jerking moments comes when Merida announces she'll never ever be like her mother. It starts with an argument many of us have heard before. Merida even cuts a rift through the family's tapestry. Of course, most Pixar movies have a happy ending, but let's be honest, this movie really did make us think about our own relationships with our mothers. And whether they're good or bad, this is the moment where most of us were without a doubt sobbing. Merida's words were definitely something we wanted to say too. Pixar really knows how to make the most heart-wrenching scenes, doesn't it? Bao. Bao isn't technically a full-length Pixar movie, but since it's a short, we're adding it in too. You could catch this 8-minute short in the new Incredibles 2, and it's definitely one of those that will make all mothers sob. It might be a short about dumplings, but it's definitely a tearjerker. Bao's all about a Chinese mom who gets another chance at motherhood when one of her dumplings springs to life. Everything is fine and cute until she realizes that even sweet little dumplings have to eventually grow up. You can see where this is going, right? Many have praised the movie and expressed how it touched them and made them think about their relationship with their mom. It's one of those shorts that will really hit you in the feels, and it doesn't help it's followed by the highly anticipated sequel to The Incredibles either. Pixar really nailed it with this one. It seems like they really only need 8 minutes to come up with something that will make us tear up. Cars 3. We can pinpoint plenty of moments from previous 2 Cars movies that could make you cry, but the third one is where you really need your tissues. When the Cars 3 trailer came out, it was criticized as being far too traumatic for kids. To be fair, it was pretty harsh seeing Lightning McQueen go down like that. Cars is one of those movies that gets you all pumped up. But that crash scene is by far the most heart-wrenching scene we have ever seen. On top of that, seeing Sterling say Lightning isn't capable of winning was a very real moment for anyone who's ever been doubted in. Cars franchise gets you so pumped up to cheer for your fave who's been working so hard, but more than often something ends up happening to that fave that completely breaks your heart. Don't worry, we've been there too. Cars 3 is just one of those movies where you'll cry at the beginning and the end too. We're pretty sure you won't be able to resist a tear. But was Cars 3 the final to the franchise, or will we cry even more in the next one? Toy Story 3. Let's be honest, Toy Story 3 was just playing with our emotions throughout the movie. Seriously, it's by far one of the most heart-wrenching Pixar movies ever. Well, the 4th most heart-wrenching Pixar movie ever, because we still have 3 more to go. When we watched Andy let go of his beloved toys, we all wept, and it brought back memories to our own favorite childhood toys most of us left behind. The furnace scene also hits you with a full force as you watch the toys embrace the fact of what's about to happen to them. It's one of the most terrifying Pixar scenes ever, and we're pretty sure nothing will ever be able to top it. At least we hope it won't, because we never want to go through these same emotions ever again. But watching Andy give away his toys and realizing he's finally growing up is something we just can't accept. It's even worse when you realize that you grew up with the Toy Story franchise, and by the looks of it, Andy grew up with you too. Oh, Pixar, why are you doing this to us? But get ready, because we're about to explore our top 3 biggest Pixar tear-jerkers.
Go on.
Up. How could we possibly forget about Up? Let's be honest, when it comes to saddest Pixar movies, Up is the best one. Or in our case, the 3rd best one. Don't worry, we'll get there. Pixar really knows how to make sure you cry unexpectedly. When it comes to most movies, you can easily cry at the end or in the middle, but only Pixar can make you cry at the beginning. This is precisely how Up starts, with a tear-jerking moment of introducing Ellie and Carl's story. It's the setup to the entire movie and why Carl acts the way he acts. It's actually surprising Pixar wanted to cut this exact scene out of the movie because it was almost too real for its audience. Of course, there are plenty of other touching moments that can really get you going later on, but the beginning of the movie really sets up the entire atmosphere for the story. It's one of those scenes that will really touch adults more than it will kids. Seriously, tissues are needed for this one, no matter how many times you have seen it before. We're tearing up just thinking about Ellie and Carl's life story. Wall-E. Yep, we're putting Wall-E before Up. Can you believe it? Pixar can really make you cry when you watch a movie about anything. Dumplings, cars, robots, it doesn't matter. They're really able to create stories that are totally relatable, even though they're told by things that aren't necessary people. Wall-E is one of those Pixar movies that will make you unexpectedly weep as you reach the ending. We won't give too much away if you haven't seen it, but let's just say that the ending is honestly unexpected. If you thought Sully leaving Boo behind was sad, you're definitely not ready for what's about to happen to this robot. What makes Wall-E even more heart-wrenching than any other movie is the fact that it doesn't really feature a lot of dialogue. It really makes you pay attention and then hits you in the feels as hard as ever. Seriously, Pixar really knows how to make movies, whether it's with dialogue or without. Wall-E is definitely a tearjerker that you should add to your to-watch list, but it's still not the saddest Pixar movie ever. There's a new kid on the block that will really make you cry your eyes out. Ready? Coco. Did you guess it? We just had to put Coco on the top of the list. Coco is totally a different movie from anything Pixar has ever created. It shows much more history, and it's completely dedicated to a single culture. But there's a particular scene in Coco that's even worse than the furnace scene in Toy Story 3. Coco will give you some serious Bambi feels, and we can guarantee you're not going to be ready for it. The entire movie is a true reminder that we should definitely live our life to the fullest, because you never know when it's going to end. But what What makes Coco so sad is the fact that there isn't just one tear-jerking scene out there. There are quite a few. Seriously, if you haven't seen Coco, you need to add it to your list. And bring a box of tissues and a person you love with you too. We just can't wait to see what Pixar will create next. But whatever it is, we're truly ready to cry our eyes out once again. In your opinion, what's the saddest Pixar moment ever? Let us know in the comments. And that's it for our video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.